Okay, so for today's homework, you'll be doing the area of triangles, which is a cupcake. Okay. Now on Monday, I gave you this assignment, which was the one with the trapezoids. There's the video for Monday. There's a reference chart with the formulas of the area of a trapezoid. Today, we're doing the area of a triangle. Okay. So you have that for Monday's work. I just lost the classroom. Let me get it. So today's homework is the area of triangles, the cupcake. On Monday you have this one, the area. Now this one is the same one. This one is just so you can transfer your answers to this. I am collecting the colored paper with a word showing how you found the area of the trapezoid. This one is not for a grade, so do not worry about it. Now, if you're behind, the part report's gonna go out on Friday. I'm gonna send out a letter home on Friday. Make sure that the cowboy is already completed and that you have given me the work. Make sure that the test is completed, that you also have given the work. And make sure that inequality step, slide 1 and slide 2 are completed. Slide 1 is 1 through 5. Slide 2 is just 1 and 2. Okay? And if you're not sure what to do, I already told you stay after school today, which is Wednesday, or tomorrow, Thursday. So let's start with that area of the triangles. So here's the worksheet that you're going to do. So today's homework is 1 through 6 only, not the second page, just the first page, 1 through 6. And I'm starting with number 1. I gave you a hard copy so you can do the work. So here's the hard copy. There's number 1. And we always begin when we're working with the area of something. In this case, we're working with the area of a triangle. Our strategy is to quickly put W, T, X, which means write the formula. That's what it means. It does not mean what you all think in social media, what the you know what. Okay? It means write the formula. Where do I get that formula? From the math chart. Okay. So you're gonna write the formula from the math chart that I showed you right now in the video. And the formula says for the triangle says A equals half of BH, which means base times height. In case you're not sure, let me show you again where I got that formula. I got it from the trapezoid. Because there they are. I'll probably put it again in the triangle so you can have it faster. So here is triangle. That's where I wrote the formula. WTF, write the formula. There's my formula. A equals half BH. That's your first thing to do always. When working with area or even volume, we're gonna write the formula first. WTF. Okay. Now once you write the formula, I'm gonna ask myself, could I solve this formula or do I need to rewrite the formula? So in our class we have been rewriting it. We feel more comfortable rewriting this. So I'm gonna rewrite it to say A equals base times height divided by 2. Why divide by 2? Because half in math means to divide by 2. So instead of working with fractions, we're actually just dividing by 2, which makes it easier from what I've seen from you all. Now, the next thing is, I'm purposely going to put numbers here just to make a point. So let's pretend that this one is 7 miles, that's what they're working with miles. And this is 7 miles. Let's just pretend. Okay? In the STAR test or in my assignments like tomorrow, you'll have more numbers that you're going to have to deal with, like this one. So that's why I'm purposely putting this right now so you can see what happens. So the base and the height always have to form a right angle. They have to be perpendicular to each other. So at this moment, this is the base and this has to be the height because right here is your right angle, which shows that they're perpendicular. Now, if you would choose the 7 as your height with the 8, you'll see that this is not a right angle, it's an acute angle, so they're not perpendicular, so that's why I know that I should not be using the 7. If I use this over 7, same thing, I have an acute situation right here. So the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. So in this case, here's my base and here's my height, which makes it perpendicular, which is forming a right angle. It actually forms two right angles like that. So that's very important that when you're choosing your base and height in triangles, in trapezoids, in anything that we're doing, it's important that you understand that the base and height will always be the ones that are perpendicular to each other. Okay? So in this case, my base would be 8. So I'm going to put the 8. That B became 8 because that's my base. And the H, which means height, would be this dotted line that's called, that's how high the triangle is. So the height of this triangle is 4.5. Now many kids make the mistake here and they start calculating. But no, you don't calculate, you bring everything down. So we need to bring down the division symbol and the 2. Now we can start calculating. So I'll start with these two. Combines, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add and subtract. I'm doing this too because they're on top, so they go first. So 4.5 times 8. So what I told you was to remove the decimal for now, so we can work with whole numbers. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus a 4, 36. So at this moment, the answer looks like 360. However, we did have a decimal number right there. That 5 is a 5/10, which is a decimal number. That means that we have to go backwards once because there was only one decimal number. Now there was another number here, then I would have to go backwards twice and put my decimal here. That's important when you're multiplying decimals, even though you remove it at the beginning to make it easier for you, it's important that you go put the decimal back. And you can't put it on the te de la gana wherever you want. You need to put it based on, okay, I have 1, I'm going to move 1. If I had two numbers, if I had another number here at the end, then we would have two numbers in the decimal side. So I have to move it twice, so it would be 3.6. In this case, there's only 1, so I'm going to only move once. So right now the area looks like this. This just became 36.0. So that's what we have there, 36.0. Divided by, don't forget to divide by 2. Now we have a division. Bottom out. 36 is the top, that goes inside, bottom out 2. Your decimal at the end. And I dropped the 0, we don't need the 0 anymore. The decimal is important, so I can know where my whole numbers are. The 0 is not important. You could still leave it, you don't need it. So 3, will that be enough for 2? Yes. 2 times 1 is 2. Now 3 minus 2 would be 1, so we're done with the first one. Now 6 comes down. 16, is that enough for 2? Yes, it is. Times 8. So now finally, the area of this triangle would be 18 square miles. The area equals 18 square miles. Okay? That little 2 tells you that we're dealing with area, square miles. Area is covering space, and we usually cover space faster with square units, like in the floor, in the classroom, there's 14 square feet covering the tile. On the top of the ceiling, we also have some tiles. I don't know how much they measure, so those will be called square units. This one must be a big piece of land that's triangular shape because it's in miles, square miles. So it's a big piece of land. Now, how do I punch in this in my teacher? Once you have your answer, You go to your little cupcake and you have a choice. You can just punch in 18 and leave it like that. Or you can punch in 18 space MI because it's miles, shift 6 because that's when I go to the second power because it's square miles. So you could type it in like this, 18 square miles, or you can just type 18 and we'll be okay. That's question number one. Question number two. We have again another triangle. And again, purposely I'm going to put some numbers here. So let's pretend that we have 8 kilometers over here. And we have 2.1 kilometers right there. Again, I need to find the ones that form a right angle. So the 5 kilometers with the 8 kilometers, that's not going to work out. The 5 kilometers with a 2.1, that's obtuse. The 2.1 with the 8 kilometers, that's acute. So the only thing that will work out is going to be the 5 with the 1.9. There's your right angle, there's your perpendicular sides. Okay? So, and what they're trying to tell you here in the dotted line that if the height is 1.9 from here to here, that means the height of the triangle is going to be 1.9, which was, I was explaining that in the chat. Okay? I was explaining that if I have like an apple here, and I want to measure the height, that I could put a piece of like board here, and if I measure the board from here down, that would be the height of the apple also. Okay, so it's I used it with the cans. But anyway, so now I know I'm gonna find the area. So the first step is write the formula. So I'm gonna go to the math chart. Again, the math chart is right here on your Google Classroom from the trapezoid, and we're using triangles. On Monday was trapezoid, so that's why we need to use this formula. A equals half BH. So A equals 1/2 base times height. So my question again would be, do I leave it like that or do I change it? In this case, we don't like to work with fractions that much, so we're gonna change it to base times height divided by 2. Why? Because half of something means to divide by 2. Now who's the base? Well, it'll be 5. Who's the height? It won't be 2.1 because that does not form a right angle. It'll be 1.9 because there's your right angle. So 1.9 will be the height divided by 2. Okay? Now that everything's numerical, I'm going to start calculating 1.9, which I can remove the decimal for now. 5 times 9 will be 45. 5 times 1 will be 5, plus 4 will be 9. The answer looks like 95, but again, we do have one decimal number, 9/10. So I have to go back one time. So really, it's A equals 9.5 divided by 2. I could stop there, but we have to, the last step for a triangle is to divide by 2. The last step for a trapezoid is to divide by 2. That 2 has to continue coming down until we're done with it. Now we have 9.5 divided by 2, so 9.5, keep the decimal where it's at, you don't move it, divided by 2. So the decimal is right there, so move it up right there, line them up. And we start dividing. 2 times 4 gives me 9, well 2 times 4 gives me 8. Okay, so I'm done with the first place value, now I'm going to go with 5. And we have the number 15. 2 times 4 gives me close to 15, it will be 7. And we have a remainder, so what do we do with the first meshes? And we have a remainder, we're working with decimal, we add a 0. Now 2 times 1 gives me 10, or 2 times 5 gives me 10. So my final answer is that the area of this triangle is 4.75 square kilometers. That would be my answer. I would box it. I'm done. Now, if you write big, you can always do this on a separate paper. Okay? But if you can try to fit it here even better, so that was the number two. Again, how do you punch it in the teacher mate? You go to teacher mate, you're gonna punch in 4.75, just like that. Or you can put 4.75 space kilometer shift 6 to make it go to the second power. Shift 6 is this guy. In case you wonder what is he talking about, shift 6. You're gonna hold down the shift button and you're gonna press the number 6. That symbol is for exponents. Now I put a little caret. Okay, so shift 6 will make that become an exponent. So we can go to the second power, which means squared. So that was question number 2. For homework, you're gonna do by yourself 3, 5, and 6. And I'm not putting extra numbers, so it's gonna be very easy. Here's your base, this has to be your height, there's your right angle. Here's your base, that's your height, there's your right angle. So I didn't put numbers, but even if I would put numbers, this can't be the height because there's not a right angle there. This is not the height angle, and so on. So your homework is questions 3, 5, and 6. I'm doing the last one with you, number 4. Okay. So number 4, again, we start with write the formula. It's a triangle, so I'm going to keep A equals half of the H. And that's on your formula chart. Now I need to ask myself, when I leave it like that, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it to base times height divided by 2. Now we're going to start substituting. Now kids have a hard time with this one because it's kind of like weird. So what you want to do, you could rotate it. You could rotate it like I showed you in class. And now we can see that the base is 3 and the height is 2.8. There's my right angle right there. Okay. Rotate it back now that you saw. And in the computer, you can rotate it also. I showed you some other classes that it's possible. You should rotate the screen carefully without damaging it. So my base is going to be 3. The height is going to be 2.8. Then don't forget divide by 2. And then we start calculating. So 2.8 times 3, 28 times 3. That will be 84. But we have one decimal place. So I'm going to have to move one time back. So really it's 8.4. So the area is 8.4 divided by 2. We're not done. A lot of kids calculate and then they don't bring the divide by 2 and they put that as the answer. That's wrong. That's just the base times height. We still have to cut it in half. So 8.4, your decimal's already there, so keep it there. Bring it up. It's already there. Don't move it to the end. Divided by 2, that will be 4. 2. So the final answer for number 4 will be the area of this triangle is 4.2 square meters. The M in math means meters. Okay. If you're ever wondering like how do I know what the MI means, the M means, it's also on your mathematics chart. But on page 2. See there, MI, it's the miles. YD, that's the yards. FT, that's the feet, the foot. Yard, YD. Foot, FT. Inches, IN. In the metric system, km, kilometers. M is meters. Cm is centimeters. So that's how I know that those are km is kilometers. The one we're doing right now that we just finished is 4.2, which is number 4. 4.2 space shift M. M shift 6 2. Or you can always just put 4.2 and that you'll be okay. It doesn't matter how you choose to put it. You can put it with unit of measurement to the second power, which means square kilometers, or you can just put 4.2 and I'll count it right no matter what. Again, your homework is 3, 5, and 6. Just the way I did it here in the video, that's what you're gonna do. You should all have a hard copy, which is this one. But if you don't have a hard copy, you can always do it on a loose leaf paper off the computer. Okay? So today was the area of a triangle. On Monday was the area of a quadruped. Once you're done punching in your answers from 1 through 6, you're gonna press finish later, and then we're gonna grade it tomorrow, and then tomorrow we'll continue with the second page on triangles.